Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
Well, hi. He's Mike. I'm Sean. How you doing? You okay? Everything well?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, a couple hours in a rink, I'm good.
Yeah, how'd that go this afternoon?
A bunch of scrimmages.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that one goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wings are in trouble.
Good to be there.
Wings are in trouble, Mike. They're in trouble. Don't mince words. It was funny. I was talking to somebody last night, a guy that we know, and I said to him, it isn't just, excuse me. It isn't just, okay, you just had the injuries that you've had in the past couple of days. This has been a routine now. And I pointed out, off the top of my head, I think Ottawa's gained 7 points on them. Oh no, it's Columbus gained 7 points on them, and I think Ottawa gained 6 points on them just in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, they're in trouble right now.
This is something we've talked about the last couple of years, Sean. This is the time, be it after the Olympic break, the All-Star break, whatever has gone on the last couple of years, where teams start picking up the pace and they start playing playoff hockey. And we've seen the Wings fold. I still think, fortunately for them, people were too far behind them. I still think they're going to hold on, but they're going to be holding on for dear life right now.
It really is. And Mike, this is where, I think it's worthy to bring it up, but at this time of year is when it starts to get real, the games in hand stuff. Because I think a lot of times, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, I think a lot of times what happens is people are, I'm going to say it, lazy. And they'll look at the standings and they'll see where people's points are, okay? Well, now this is the time, to be honest with you, Mike, this is the time where all of a sudden those games in hand are legit, okay? And when you have played a game more than a team behind you, a game more than another team behind you, I'll use the Habs as an example, 2 more games in the Habs who have 1 more point than you. Well, you start to do the math. Chances are, and all one has to do is look at the standings right now, unless they're playing each other like Montreal and Ottawa. I mean, let's face it, the Habs could help the Wings out tonight by beating Ottawa. You're at a point, Mike, right now where if they win those games, which is often the case with the playoff teams, with the exception being the Wings right now, there's 2 more points right there. And then all of a sudden that 3-point lead or that 4-point lead or that 1-point deficit turns into 4 or 5 or 6 points, depending on how many games in hand are. And this is a time where it's real when you have, 15, 17 games left.
Yeah, and it would be a huge win for Detroit if Montreal wins tonight, because if not, like you're saying, Ottawa's got 1 more game. They'll be at 75. They're just nipping right at their heels. Yep.
Columbus, isn't it, like, honest to God? Think about Columbus. It's insane. It really, with the coach that announced to everybody that he was done after 30 plus years of coaching, for goodness sake, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, you always hear about people getting a boost from a coach in a new situation, but this has been crazy, and it doesn't look like there's any stopping them. Whereas last year they started out on fire and kind of petered out at the end. They're getting hot right at the right time.
What are you seeing out of the Red Wings last night? I mean, it was funny. I was joking with the guys from Woodward. I'm in a group chat with like Spenny and Justin. I said, it's like, it must be March because Verhaeghe's scoring big goals. He scored those two late goals. But what are you seeing out of the Wings right now?
It was listless last night. And that's part of your captain is gone. But I thought that was a Florida team that was ripe to get beat, as they have been down the stretch. And Detroit first they couldn't get away. Then when, they score the timely goal to go up, was it 3-2? They can't hold that, and then they can't even get it to overtime to get that point. It's just trouble. But that is, again, do I think they're going to make the playoffs? I do. But you look at that roster, and the roster is playing like that roster looks, and like we've been talking about it.
The thing that concerns me right now, Mike, honestly, is they know it just as well as everybody else knows it. The jokes about March, here we go again, et cetera, and then the injuries come up. That's the thing that concerns me right now. And so many of these games, I mean, you just think next week, I mean, they got a back-to-back game. They got Montreal and Boston in town. I mean, those are huge swings. 2 points one way or the other are huge swings. And that's where we're at right now. And just to take it to its logical conclusion, okay, Ottawa's got 2 games in hand. They win both of them. All of a sudden, they're just 2 points behind the Red Wings. You know what I mean? Columbus has a game in hand. They win that. They're only a point behind the Red Wings right now. As I mentioned, the Habs have 2 games in hand. They win both those games. They win both those games. Suddenly, they go up 5 points on the Red Wings, plus have a tiebreaker. So it's, in essence, 6 points up on the Red Wings at this juncture. So, look, we're staring at a point right now, and we're going to get to Buffalo in a second, because I swear to God, you and I were the first 2 people to talk about the Sabres like 2 months ago. Like, legitimately, I'm convinced we were the first 2 people, at least around here. But you're getting to the point right now, Mike, okay, let's say you finish in the 3 spot. All right? You're either going to face Tampa or Buffalo in the first round. Okay? Exactly. You don't finish in the 3 spot. You finish in one of those wild card spots. You finish in 7-8. Okay? You're either going to face Carolina, Tampa, or Buffalo in the first round. Hey, good luck with that. Like, honestly, good luck with that. I mean, that's how absurd things are right now.
But with that, if you gave me that scenario right now, as crazy as it's going to sound at this point, I would pick Buffalo for the reason of they are so hot and so on fire. Eventually, it's just got to stop, right? And then they don't have goaltending. Yeah. Not that Carolina does, but Carolina is just a beat down team. So I would take Buffalo in that scenario, but it's not looking good. And again, when you just we've said it for years now, Sean. Just look at that roster. I don't know what people want this team to do.
I am at the point, and I saw a couple people brought this up, so I don't want to steal any thunder. I think the Red Wings should do what the Habs just did. Totally. 100%. I think that the Red Wings should do, and I'll get to it when we get to some of your comments in just a moment. But yeah, it's real right now. You got to find somebody else to step up at this point in time, whether it be Van Riemsdyk, who, in fairness, Mike, I kind of went about that. I think Van Riemsdyk's been pretty good in his role. I have to give credit where credit is due for all the people that have bashed Steve for some of his moves. Look, the numbers aren't eye-popping, but him to contribute what he has and play the way he has, Mike, I thought that ended up being a pretty good signing. Again, lights flashing and a tremendous upside or anything like that. No, not like that at all. But I think he's been a competent depth piece, no doubt. Dave said this is going to be good. Ray said it must be March. The Wings are starting to lose key games. It's not just that, and that's why I told the guys last night, Mike, this isn't just the injury concern, because the injury concern has just recently reared its ugly head with Larkin and again last night. And unfortunately, it's down the middle, going all the way down to Grand Rapids. This has been going on for a few weeks now, if we're being fair. And I will point out again, excuse me for just a second. I will point out again, all one has to do is look at the last 10. You ready for this, Mike? Buffalo, 8-1-1. Tampa Bay. All right, I'm going to get Mike. There's Mike. Mike's back. Hi, Mike. There he is. I got to lose this Mike. How's that? Yeah, there it is. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
That's all right. Buffalo, 8-1-1. Tampa, they've faltered 4-6. So now, Mike, the craziest thing about it is Tampa has a 4-game bump Buffalo has a 4-point bump on Tampa, but 2 games in hand. You want to hear something crazy? The Habs are only 2 points behind Tampa. They played the same amount of games. Insane. Habs are 6-1-3. Carolina's 8-2. Pittsburgh's 4-2-4. Islanders 7-3. Boston 5-2-3. Columbus 6-1-3. Ottawa 7-1-2. And then you have the Wings at 4-5-1. So think about that. In the last 10 games, they've had 9 points. Boston has 13. Columbus has 15. Ottawa has 16. That's what we're looking at right now. I think Mike went away again. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Austin, we're in trouble. Oh, no, there's Mike. We're in trouble. The hockey god / injuries have been favorable to us all year. A couple spare tires all at once. Raymond is banged up too, I think. Are we seeing the replay of what happened to Raymond last year, Mike? After the 4 Nations? No, Mike froze again. Are you there, Mike? Yeah, I think Mike's frozen. Columbus is also scaring me, despite the fact that they have those stupid jerseys and need to wear the cream cannons full time. We brought it up earlier. I'm telling you, honestly, the job that Rick Bowness has done is unbelievable. Bowness was done. Remember? He retired. He was done. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Mike, are you back, Kai?
I think I don't know what the heck's going on here. It's like my Wi-Fi keeps going. It's saying I'm connected to the extender, which is supposed to be improving my connection.
Yeah, it's not working right now. There's no doubt about that. Lane Hudson owns most assists in first 150 games of a career. How long before he's in the conversation with Makar and Hughes? Ray, it's funny you say that. Mike and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying that he's going to win the Norris Trophy this year. Okay? He's not. All right? You've got Makar. You've got Werenski. You've got, obviously, you mentioned Hughes, etc. I think he's just below that. And, Mike, this goes back to the conversation that we had about Mo Seider, all right? I really like the step that Mo Seider took this year. I really, really like the step that Mo Seider took this year. Mo Seider isn't the type of guy that's going to go win a Norris Trophy, though. Do you know what I mean? The type of guys that win the Norris Trophy are the guys that put up the bombastic points. That's just the way it is. That doesn't mean that you don't want Mo Seider, because I think every team would take a Mo Seider. I just think if you're talking about Norris Trophy conversation, I just don't think Mo Seider is going to be in that conversation. And I hope that nobody out there takes that as a slight, because really, we've watched in real time this guy take a real step up. He has taken a big step up this year. So, yeah, I'm at the point right now where, Mike, I don't think I'm not going to put Lane Hudson in that conversation with the elites. Is he a top 3 Norris Trophy guy this year? I would say no. I would still put Makar, Hughes, and Werenski above him. Would I put him at a solid number 4? Absolutely, I would. Mike's frozen face is awesome. Mike's frozen face is awesome right there. All right, that's all right. Hey, he's back.
This is incredible. I don't understand. There's nothing different from any other time.
We're bullshitting right now. Don't even worry about it. Would you agree with that though? Ray said, would you put Hudson in that category? I think I'd put him at 4 right now. If I was doing a Norris Trophy ranking, I'd put him at 4 right now, so he wouldn't be in the top 3. All right, he froze again. Bring back the 1 versus 8. Dallas or Minnie is getting eliminated in round 1. Crying shame. I agree. Red Wings feel like the Pistons. No other reliable second scorer when your main guy doesn't play or score. That's a huge thing. Montreal is in the playoffs and now calling up Fowler. What chance would you bring up Casa and maybe it gives Detroit a boost? Absolutely. That's what I was talking about. Mike, I would do it in a heartbeat. It's different but similar circumstances. So hear me out. You've heard me complain about Montembeaul's all year. He's been awful. There's no other way to say that. He's been awful. I think Dobish deserves the shot, okay? What's wrong with bringing up a kid to provide a spark that's been playing great at the AHL, that at the very worst, he pushes the guy who's trying to be the guy. What's wrong with that? Help me out. I'm serious. What's wrong with that? And that's the Montreal scenario. The Detroit scenario is this. John Gibson, nobody can complain about John Gibson. I'm shocked he stayed healthy. I'm shocked he's played as well as he has and as much as he has. That hasn't been his MO. I think Kosa would be a major upgrade as a 1B or a 2 to Talbot. I don't think there's any two ways about that. And I think we got Mike back. We're going to try it again. Hi, Mike.
Hey, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm ready to start breaking things. So you might see me smashing stuff here.
No, we were just talking about the Kosa situation, and Ray brought it up. It's very comparable yet different to the Montreal situation. Montembeaul's is Montembeaul's, okay? I think that Dobish has earned the right to say, you know what, for now I'm the one. But you call up Fowler and you say the kid's been playing lights out in the AHL. He didn't look totally out of place when he was here the first time, and you give him a little push. And it's similar yet different circumstances with Detroit. You would get that push. It would be, in my mind, an upgrade over Talbot. It's no disrespect to Gibson, but why the heck not at this point in time?
I couldn't agree more. And this has just been an ongoing joke with me about why not Kosa and stop calling him up and not putting him in. I don't understand why they don't. It has to be the answer for next year. He has to be up next year. Talbot will be gone. It'll be Kosa and Gibson waiting for Augustine. But why not now? You need something because this team is spiraling.
Yep. I'm a firm believer in the spark. And Mike, I was looking at this game. Montreal and Ottawa are playing tonight. And I even told you earlier in the day before we found out Fowler was out. This has schedule loss written all over it. Ottawa at home. Montreal played the Leafs last night. At the time, I'm thinking to myself, well, they're not going to play Dobish back-to-back. They're probably going to throw Montembeaul's out there. And Marty St. Louis said, we feel like Fowler gives us our best chance. And this isn't just for one night. They've made it clear he's up now. And, of course, let the shades of Patrick Waugh in 86 or Cam Ward in 06 play. I'm not going that far. I know you might. I'm not going that far. I'd just be happy if they won a playoff series, because whoever they play in the first round is going to be a bitch now. And that goes back to Austin's point. At 1 versus 8, yeah, I'm in. Let's go back to 1 versus 8. But, yeah, at this point in time, why not? Maybe tonight isn't a schedule loss.
You know me, I told you, I've got the Habs in pocket here. And again, I don't think they're calling Fowler up to back up Dobish. I think they're calling him up, and he is going to be the starter in the playoffs. Just one man's opinion.
Wings got to go on a movement winning streak here. I don't see them pacing the teams behind. Neither do I. I don't. I think you have to be worried about not only Columbus, but you have to be worried about Ottawa. And I'll say it again. I have sat here in a perpetual state of awe that the Boston Bruins are doing it again. And by the way, Mike, the Bruins are 1 point behind with a game in hand. So if the Bruins win said game in hand, you know what happens. They jump the Wings, and suddenly the Wings are the 8th spot. So this is the time of year where all of a sudden those games in hand become very important. Can you, I want to bring, Austin, I'm so glad you brought this up. I wasn't planning to mention this. Rasmussen last night, 2 of 9 on draws, average shift time, 21 seconds, -2. Why? Can you explain to me why? Mike, especially at the late junctures of a game, why? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't. That's not even one of his quote unquote guys. I don't get it.
Yeah, and Sean, just to further that, 0 points in 21 games, 60 hits in the last 60 games. He's 9'2". Are you effing kidding me?
I don't get it. And Mike, again, this isn't like this is one of his guys, because a general manager is more apt to give one of his guys a little more role. Sorry, everything comes back to the Habs. There, I made the joke for you, okay? Slavkovsky in a perfect world, earlier in his career had no business being up. He looked lost for great periods of time. But you know what they said? No, we're sticking with it. No, that's our guy. We're sticking with it. And that guy has turned into a damn good forward. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, I really like him. The one that we could say would be his guy is Appleton. There's another dog for you. Or how about Comfer?
Well,
there's a lot of dogs out here.
Is Appleton going to score a goal in 2026? YRN?
You've been asking us that question for weeks now. How can he?
Everyone blames Steve. How long before people start blaming the players? I think when Steve puts the team together, and this has been his team for so long, I think, yeah.
At this point, it is on him.
All over it now. This is his team.
We have said this for 3 freaking years straight as this time of year comes along, that it is the roster. That we want to blame the coach. We get rid of a coach, bring in another coach. He's doing just fine with the players that is. They are who they are. I'm sorry. That is what is going on.
It wasn't Blash's fault. It wasn't his fault. I feel so sorry for that guy. I really do. Just a nice guy. He really is. Lalonde's just a nice guy. And he they didn't have the roster. And I think McClellan's done a fine job, but just, you know what? The players aren't there yet. They just aren't. And Ray, I understand your point. I think it's 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other. Yes, the players aren't there yet, but who's ultimately responsible for putting that roster out there? I mean, this isn't – I think the first few years of the Yzer plan, we could blame many of the evils and what ailed the Red Wings on Ken Holland completely making the cupboard bare and everything. Mike, at this point, I don't think that's an adequate – I don't think that's an adequate thing anymore. Not this long into it.
No, it's not, and it's just not a good look, even though it's just we knew it was going to happen. His little dumb speeches after the trade deadline, it can just go away. Just shut up. Just shut up. No one wants to come here for a reason, and it's because of this roster, and it's going nowhere. But it's at some point, people have to get off the Yzer train and start realizing that this is all on him.
Our buddy Ted, the March swoon has begun once again. Austin, I have heard people suggest an award for best defensive defenseman. Really good idea. Austin, I hope you understand my point in that. And, you know, I know how people are. That is not a shot against Mo Seider because Mo Seider took a giant step up. He's not the type of guy that goes and wins a Norris Trophy. Yes, what?
Do you see who said hello?
Who said hello?
Under Ray, in between Ray.
In between Ray. Ted.
Nope. Down lower.
All right. Chuck.
Yeah!
We got to have a barbecue soon, Chuck. All right.
We need Chuck's Cajun.
Big playoffs start tonight with 3 games on Big Ten Plus. Hockey takes a back seat to basketball on the big network. It's a shame, but huge aspirations for Michigan State. But let's face it, both those teams are at a different point. I was talking to Jack Ebling about this the other night on Fox 47. Hey, it's great that Michigan State has won 3 straight. It is. It's great. You ask every single person in that room, and most importantly, the head coach, and they go, yeah, great. Awesome. Fantastic. After the last couple of years, falling short a couple of years ago, especially to Michigan, losing in that first round down in Toledo. I can't believe that was a year ago that I drove down there for that. Mike, that doesn't mean anything. It's about getting back to the Frozen Four. And if they get to the Frozen Four, I'll be in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been to Vegas for a long time. Yeah, we're going. Jack and I are going to go. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
If they go, only if they go. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going otherwise.
That I am jealous. That would be amazing. I was very disappointed that there was no regions close enough that I could drive to. The drive down to Toledo was pretty cool, even though it was disappointing in the loss. So I'm hoping for a Michigan State Big Ten championship game that I can get to here. But yeah, it is. It's all about that Frozen Four, Sean. If they don't make it, who cares?
No, that's exactly it. Did you see the play that Ray's talking about? I did not see the McKinnon play. He said, did you see the McKinnon play that got him a game misconduct last night? Mike, did you see it?
Absolutely. It seems like every time me and you talk, I will make the comment, that's the worst call I've ever seen in my life. Sean, this was the worst call was it goalie interference? 100%. McKinnon was going 5 million miles an hour, cuts to the net. Darnell Nurse did bump him, but he did smoke. Who was in net? Was it Ingram, I think, was in net? They threw him out. A 5-minute major game misconduct for goalie interference. That is the worst call I've ever seen.
Austin said the Buffalo-Tampa game was so good as a hockey fan. It made me so happy that it helped take away some of the pain of being a Red Wing fan in March. It was a total throwback game. It was, I overused this comment, but I'm going to overuse it again. It was Smythe Division hockey. And Mike, this gives us a chance. It was like 2 months ago that we talked about, hey, Buffalo's red hot. I don't know. They got some cute little pieces. Tage Thompson's having a phenomenal year. Rasmus Dahlin is flying completely under the radar as far as I'm concerned. But to me, what jumps out to me about the Buffalo Sabres are two things. Number one, you have multiple guys producing seemingly every night. Okay, that's number one. And number two, does the average person around here understand the season that Alex Lyon is having? Alex Lyon has been outstanding. I don't like using that word. He's got a 2.65 goals against average. He's got like a 914 save percentage. He has really been outstanding this year. Did you freeze again? Yeah, I think he froze again. How would you like to see a Buffalo Habs series feel like old days? I'd be terrified. I think anybody would be terrified to see Buffalo. Do you remember any NHL game that was comparable to what Bam did last night? Guys feeding one guy to get a record. Mike, did you hear that question?
Yeah, I did. And I know there is, but my memory, I just can't pull it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I remember watching the Hockey Night in Canada game when Gretsch was trying to pass Gordie Howe in points, and it just seemed like he was out on the ice constantly. Nothing like that. Nothing. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head like that. I can't. There is no push out there with the lines. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, we've been talking about them being soft all year. I believe in Marco Kasper. Why? He's played better than his stats this year, and I'm trying to be a glass half full guy, and I don't have a choice. I'm the same way, Austin. I like Marco. I like Marco Kasper. I'm incredibly disappointed that he didn't take a step up this year because I thought he would be a key player this year, Mike. I really did.
I agree, but I think it's no different than the things I'd say about Lucas. He's a nice player. I think he's better than he is, but he just doesn't have much surrounding him that he's playing with. At his age, Kasper needs a lot of help to get over that hump and take that next step, and I just don't think he has it.
You and I have talked about this privately. I don't know if I've ever brought this up here, okay? At what point in time? At what point in time? And in fairness to Lucas Raymond, this just in, he's their leading scorer. People are aware of that, right? Yeah. But at what point in time, he's going to be 24 soon? At what point in time are we going to say that this is what he is? He's kind of a streaky guy. Are we near that point yet? Do we still have to give him a couple years? They say that prime is 27, 28. So this is a guy that's still a couple weeks away from being even 24, okay? But what I've seen out of him, Mike, in his first few years as a Red Wing is exactly what this season is going. There will be moments that you sit back and you go, gosh, that guy's brilliant. And then there'll be times where you're like, is he playing tonight?
I agree. I think he is going to continue to be this player that is streaky. Again, I just said it with Kasper, until they put legitimate people out there with him. He is a good player. He's going to lead the team in points. He's going to get to the next level when he has someone to play with him. And everybody has that. everyone outside of the Gretzkys, the Lemieux, and those once-in-a-lifetime players has that guy on his line or those guys on his line that help elevate him, and they make it as a line. When they get that for Raymond, I think we'll see that next step out of him.
All right. Johnny Stacks, what's up? If they don't make the playoff, is Yzerman on the chopping block, or as both you guys have said, he's a lifer for Wings GM? Absolutely not. No way. No way, no how. Don't know what to tell you guys. And I know there aren't many that are like totally frustrated with him, but no way. Because you know what they say? Look at the step up that we made this year and with who we made it with. We introduced a bunch of the young kids. We got them invaluable time at the National Hockey League level. No way, no how, Mike. No way, no how. No.
No, me and you are lock and step on that.
What if Western is the Frozen Four? That would be funny. Could you imagine that? Depending on how the seeds are, could you imagine all three? My Leafs are horrible. Yes, they are. Yeah, I do. Do you want me to lie? I'm not even going to make fun of Maple Leaf. Yes, it's bad. All our teams in this city are fine, just being good and not great. Must be more eagerness to be great. I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. I don't. Where's the sense of urgency out of all these teams? I don't get it. How surprised to see if Vegas or Edmonton was in the East. They would be out of the playoffs right now. I don't know, Mike. We've talked about it here for years. The Atlantic Division is where it's at. If you don't believe it now, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. Here's a game I know you'll remember. Mario scoring a goal in every possible way in one game was probably closest to Bam. But you know what the problem with that was? People weren't getting him the rock. Mario was doing that all himself. Like literally back then, that New Year's Eve, Mario was literally doing it all himself. It was like they were making a concerted effort to get Bam the rock, and then obviously he was being fouled and everything. Like Mario did that single-handedly. It was against your Devils, wasn't it, Mike? New Year's Eve? I think it was that New Year's Eve game.
I want to say absolutely.
Yeah.
You know my memory.
Is the Detroit media too soft on your GMs? If it was Toronto, you'd be hearing complaining every day. You guys might be the only guys who out guys. On Steve Yzerman, nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it. You're committing suicide if you decide that you're going to go hard after Steve Yzerman. I mean, you have to remember what he means. I think that people are pretty hard on Scott Harris. Brad Holmes, it's starting a little bit. You know, I hear people on a daily basis kind of complain about Brad and Langdon. We're not at that point yet. And maybe fast forward a year, and if the Pistons haven't done anything, maybe that's the case then. Maybe that's the case. So, Mike, let me ask you a question before we get out of here. Jimmy Young checked in.
Jimmy!
We'll get to his comments in a second. How serious are the Buffalo Sabres? Could the Buffalo Sabres win the Eastern Conference with Alex Lyon as their goaltender?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so either.
No.
Are they capable of winning a couple playoff series? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think someone earlier, and with my awesome internet, I don't know if you addressed it, asked about a Buffalo Montreal series. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be exciting as hell. And it would be great to see our Habs end their season.
Here we go. Just great narrative, guys. The Yzer plan is, hold on a second. Hold on. The Yzer plan is flawed. I said it from day one. Great point on Appleton. The average, still below average role players don't work without any studs. French Connection, 11, 14, and 17. Great story. More than likely a few rounds at best, but it's neat for us long-suffering fans. We're on the same page with the Sabres, Jimmy. Great story. I think they're dangerous. They would scare the crap out of anybody. Do I think that Alex Lyon can carry them to a Stanley Cup final? No, I don't. Sorry. I don't. Would Spielman ever take over for Holmes with the Lions if they don't win? No, he would not. No. Holmes is bad. He's had one good draft. The free agent signings have been pathetic. Dollar store shopping. I wish he was more aggressive. Do you guys check out the Minnesota high school hockey games? Yes. Seems like they have a doozy every year. I know you rep Michigan high school hockey, but I would love for us to turn into something like they have there. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. Mike, as fun as it was on Friday night, the Northville Utica Eisenhower game, and it was packed, and the electricity in the barn, and congratulations to Catholic Central, Flint Powers, and Houghton for winning the 3 divisions. I yearn to see those barns like you see in Minnesota. I yearn to see it.
I agree. And it's 2 different levels. We have this conversation. Obviously, it's 2 different levels, but I think we can have our thing. It's not going to be what Minnesota has, but if we scale it down, we can have our own special thing. And we've watched over the last couple of years, Sean, these crowds really have gone down. Something's got to happen. We know things are coming, but we've got to do something. Something's got to change.
Johnny, we talked about this earlier in the show, compared it to what the Habs are doing. Again, similar, but not exact circumstances. Montembeault is struggling. There's no reason to even leave him in there now. The Habs called up their heir to the throne, so to speak, in Fowler. He's actually getting the start in Ottawa tonight. I'm 100% advocating for John Gibson. Deserves it for now, but how about put some real pressure on him and give Kosa a chance to shine and maybe be a spark for a team that needs a spark right now, as opposed to Cam Talbot.
I couldn't agree more. I want me some Kosa.
Yep, no doubt about it. Nuge, one of the assistant coaches with Catholic Central. Congratulations to Catholic Central again. Mike, I'm one of those guys. I think it's a great story. They have brought prestige to this level of hockey. They've won 7 straight. I think it's a fantastic story. Keep doing what they're doing. Overall, a great weekend, no doubt about that, at USA Hockey Arena. I just think it could be more. I just do. I think it could be more. I yearn for it to be more. And that's why guys like you and I keep talking about the caliber of play and pimping the product. Come out and check it out sometime. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, we've got to get to more of, let's say, the casual fan, like the hockey fan, the Red Wing fan that gets out there. Maybe they don't have a kid playing or something. Those are the people that have to realize it. They have to be hockey fans for that weekend and come check it out. If not the finals, those semifinal games, there's always some dandies in there.
Ted brings up a good suggestion. High school Final Four at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw, more central location. I'm not adverse to it. I think that they're locked into USA Hockey Arena for the foreseeable future, though. I do. I hope the day comes where it would be great to see multiple games at USA Hockey Arena. Wink, wink. It would be fantastic to see that. Maybe quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the final. But I've heard people suggest that, or you could even go to Gaylord or something like that. Ted, for what it's worth, if I'm not mistaken, I think somebody. Don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive somebody told me that they have a long-standing agreement with USA Hockey Arena. I'm almost positive I heard that someplace. That
look. If they have a long-standing agreement with them, Sean, let's kind of do it like the World Juniors, where Canada gets it every other year. Let USA have it every other year, and let's let it travel central, east, west to the
fun.
UP. And then you have to have the quarterfinals at a central spot, and that can move along. And it gives those UP teams a little bit of a break from traveling and get some of these other teams traveling. There's lots of things that could happen. I think that could drive the excitement somewhere else. Someone else would love to have it, something new, where I don't know if it's stale and old at USA and some people have stopped coming. You put that thing in the UP, Sean, people are going to show. People are going to show, whether it's the quarterfinals or once in a while they get those finals. Out west, I'm telling you, I went to that Matawan Caledonia game. It was electric for that game. Those people want it, and they will show out. And guess what? we will travel.
Yeah. Ray asked a good question as one of the resident Canadians. How many of these Michigan high school kids will you see being a part of the USA hockey program? Do you see any McKenna type kid? None. You might have a guy as an emergency player for a game. You might have an emergency goaltender. But in terms of going and playing for the U17s or the U18s, no, you're just not going to see that. What you will see this year, and this is a guy that Ray, knowing you and being a Ontario Hockey League fan, what you will see is a former Michigan high school player, and Mike, I've been saying this for a year, you got my back, go in the first round of the NHL draft this year. Brooks Rogowski played at Catholic Central a couple of years ago, obviously went on to Oshawa. If you pay attention to this stuff at all, this kid's going to be a first-round pick. I said it then, and Mike, some people kind of mocked me last year. Nobody's mocking me right now. Now the question is, how high does Brooks Rogowski go in the first round of the NHL draft?
Absolutely. He's got that one thing that you can't coach, which is size, Sean. And people fall in love with size. You know that they want to take a big kid and teach him the game and make him bigger and stronger. And Brooks is all those things.
Gordy said, I'm selfish. It's 10 minutes away from the house, which is nice, but I agree with Mike. The UP and Old Barn would take it up a level. I know that people, and Mike, we romanticize about Calumet, or we romanticize about the D. You would have to play it, as Ted said, at McInnes, where Michigan Tech plays. You would have to play it at Northern Michigan. You can't cram that many people into the little barns. That's the sad reality of it. It was great to go up there. Mike, I tell people all the time, D in Houghton is so cold. You and I went outside to warm up. It was like 30 degrees and snowing. That, Mike, I'm not, like, if you think I'm joking, I'm not. It was 30 degrees and snowing. And Mike, you and I literally went outside. The D was so cold. You and I went outside to warm up and go talk to Novi's goaltender, who put on a show that afternoon.
Oh, did he have a game? And it 100%. We went outside and it was warmer outside than inside. We don't have a science guy to figure out how that happened. The great thing is, Sean, I was talking to the great John Watson after the finals on Saturday, and I started pulling up schedules of some UP teams, and I think 2026 may see a return to the UP for me and you, baby.
I don't even. Well, I go up there anyway. I go. I think we may be up there a couple weeks in a row. I might be up there 3 weeks in a row. If you're following what I'm saying. So Mike, I have to go up there the last Wayne State games in Houghton. Then the week after, you're probably going to come back up with us to Marquette, right? For the 8-man final. And then maybe the week after that, we'll find ourselves in the Houghton and, I don't know, Jeffers area or Calumet area. Maybe there's a distinct possibility that that's already being talked about. Maybe. Ray said, I remember that name. Button had him at 9 in his mock. Did he really? Craig Button had Rogowski at 9? All right.
Wow.
We'll see. Oh, how about Lawson Arena on Western? That's another one, right? That's another one.
You could do Van Andel.
Yep. Need our top guns like Raymond. Eric, we were talking about this earlier. Need our top guns like Raymond and DeBrincat to score more goals 5-on-5 and on the power play for the Wings to hold a playoff spot. The team plus minus differential is underwater, and that stat typically separates playoff teams from the rest. That is such a legitimate point. It's absurd because right now, when you look at the quote unquote playoff teams in the East, there's only one team that is minus. And that is the Detroit Red Wings. They're at -2. And then when you're talking about when you're talking about the West, I believe there's one team. It's Anaheim, right? Yeah, Anaheim is -7. Oh, Seattle's -11 as well. Seattle's -11. So there you go. All right. Anything else? I know you and I have a busy weekend. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. I think we just need to go check out these Habs now.
Our Habs.
I didn't say it that time. Because
All
they
right.
really are your Habs. I'm just like adopted and
you're
weaseling
welcome.
my way in for this year.
Listen, I welcome you into the club with open arms. I open you into the club with open arms.
Do
Club of
you
Hockey
welcome?
Canadian, you're in.
Do you welcome me in at a plus 250 win in regulation?
By the way, did you see Dylan Cousins ran Jacob Fowler? Did you see that?
Already?
Yeah, goaltender interference just into the game. Yeah, is that good? All right.
That's great. Watch this Cole Caulfield power play goal. But
All right.
it's turning into big boy hockey. Every game you tune into right now is big boy hockey. And when you've got a 6'5" Rasmussen that can't throw a hit a game, you're in trouble.
No doubt. Oh, did you see that picture that Hubie sent us? Oh my gosh. Take a look at that picture before. Oh, is that lovely?
So
I got
hey,
stuff.
So you got to hear it. So he's testing out a place that I was looking at going at when I'm going to be in St. Louis next week. So he's either going to give me the thumbs up or thumbs down on that one. And Sean, get this, there's another one. It's a little bit further away, but you want to know why I'm going? You know what they have?
What?
DeRocks.
At a place?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to load up on DeRocks. Pretty soon we're going to do our playoff thing. So you're going to be over here like every other day. I know, like, I'm not complaining. I hope you're not agitated by that, but we're going to do our playoff thing pretty soon and barbecue every other day.
It should be good because I don't have to use this shitty internet.
See you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Mike, thanks again as always. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and I'm going to watch hockey. So I'll see you guys later.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.